Well, I don't want to keep up with everything. We're going to have some fun. We'll have even time after the presentation to hang out. So it's going to be a wealth of information here. Okay. So get through some introductions. I have some amazing partners involved. I got your seats in here, Miss Brittany Sears and Miss Robin Adams. And so if you guys want to come up, I'll make some intros here for you guys. But yeah, just welcome. Thank you so much for taking the time out today. We're going to talk about building wealth with real estate. I'm one of those blueprint guys. I don't like just to be told, hey, do this, it's going to be great. I'm like, hold on, how do you really do this? So I want to kind of basically unpack this Pandora's box. Everyone knows, who here does not own a house? Does not. Okay, one, that's awesome. So I'm going to talk about what it means to own a house as a primary in building wealth, right? Because no one really talks about that. They go, you need to get married and you need to buy a house and you're going to live happily ever after. Well, what does that really mean? She's like, sure, they could come around. Kids could come around. The grandma already. Where are the kids? Yeah, they only stay with us for like 18 years, and then then you're stuck with your wife again, right? Let me tell you. I'm just kidding. But basically, they just tell you, buy a house. It's going to be great for you and your family. But why? Why does that really make sense? And is the house you're in make sense, right? Is it really building wealth? And so your primary is already one, and we'll talk through that. And then, of course, investment properties. I think a lot of people here that own houses, since the majority of you do, what does it mean to own investment property even today? How can you really win now? And so I'm going to share a lot of cool stuff, a lot of different statistics and different things. I'm going to write some things up. It's very interactive. Interrupt me. I do not care. Raise your hand. Ask questions. I want you engaged and involved. We'll have some fun together. But I've been in the business for 5 years. I've been in Arizona, though, since 2005. So I've seen this city and this place grown tremendously all around the valley. It's kind of weird to say this out loud. I am a husband of 23 years. I know I look like I'm 23. I get that a lot. This gives me away, I think. But yeah, I met my sweetheart in college, and back in 2002. And yeah, and then we have 3 amazing kids. This is actually this past summer in Puerto Vallarta. So I have a 19-year-old daughter. She's going to U of A. We're moving. I'm not kidding. Right after this, I'm jumping in a truck. I have a trailer already hitched, and I'm heading to Tucson to move her into her first 12-month lease. If her little brother's 17, he's a senior. If he decides to go to Tucson, I told him, investment property time, here we go. And I'm going to get my first one at that moment, at that time. And then I have a 10-year-old, and we're huge soccer parents. So my wife's the team manager. Soccer is life. It's almost every weekend. Yep, my boy Chris over there, he was Arsenal as well. So we represent, and we're very proud of him because he's like top tier, college level, collegiate things. It's pretty wild. He just made the ODP team. Yep. So he tried out for that. Yeah, give it up for him. Yeah. When she was here, I told him to come, and he didn't want to. But I'm a Disney fanatic, Disney dad. You'll see that on my picture and when I message you or anything like that. And I just love what I do. I finally got my calling, I guess, because I love solving riddles and puzzles. I'm a game guy. I love playing games, and I love hearing people's stories. I love hearing what they're doing with their finances, and then really putting the things together and present the proper way to say, hey, this is what makes sense. Does this make sense? Let's do this. And so we'll get down to that. So yeah, that's who I am. But let's have some fun, all right? Because houses are fun. I love houses. I think we all go on Zillow, right? Remember that SNL skit? Zillow. It's all like, mini, I don't want to say that out loud, but basically, it's just like, you go on, you're like scrolling, and it's 10 o'clock at night, like, oh, look at this house, look at that house, what's going on with my neighbors? Okay. And so houses are always fun. So I'm going to have some fun. Brittany, since you're in the middle, in the back, you get to see everyone's hands. I'm going to show a slide of a famous house, whether it's TV, movies, what have you. Whoever calls it out first of who it is, I have a plethora of candy bars I'm going to give out, right? If you don't get the one you like, maybe you could trade with someone later. That's up to you guys. I'm sorry, I'm not going to dictate that. But let's have some fun, all right? You guys ready? All right, here's number 1. Go ahead. Home Alone? Yeah, of course. It's Home Alone, guys. Hey, because you're sitting up front, you get to choose a perk. Yep, yeah, there you go. I knew that was going to happen. I should have just thrown that to you. I figured that was going to be a Snickers. Dad stuff, dads. All right, ready? You can't guess anymore. Go ahead. Go ahead. Yep. Yeah, Fresh Prince. Yep. Peanut M&Ms because you're a dad too. That's how it works. All right, ready? No, that's a good guess though. Adam's family. Munsters, no. Oh, you're supposed to raise your hand. She raised her hand. I'm going to give it to her. Oh, lucky you. Yes. Yeah, it's my favorite. All right. We're going to be friends. Okay, here we go. If you already guessed or get a candy, don't guess again. Oh. But if the one can't have sugar and knows what it is, maybe give it a... Oh, Juliet raised her hand. No, not Goonies. That's not a bad guess, though. You're in the right area of the country. Yeah, Full House. Full House. Everywhere you go. Yeah, that's my mom's favorite. That's a good one. Are you ready? Oh, come on, fellas. This should be a guy one. Go ahead, Chris.
Is it Breaking Bad?
It is! Breaking Bad! All right.
Kansas City. Let me say. Oh, Twix.
Twix.
Let's go. Oh, gosh.
Breaking Bad, New Mexico. I know. I think it would really give it away if the pizza was up there. Yeah, that would definitely give it a good away. All right, here we go. Go ahead. Nice and loud. Who is it? Yeah, you. Simpsons. All right. What happened?
He was wrong. What?
This one? Yeah. I knew. This is my favorite. I love peanut butter. All right, last one.
Oh, yeah.
Last one. Raise your hand. Go ahead, Robinette. Beetlejuice. You better get this. Hey, what's up, Al?
How you doing?
Not so bad. Good job. Thanks for making it. There you go, girl. Absolutely awesome. Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice. Famous homes. All right, good job. All right, all my candy's gone. So if you want any other snacks, there's some up here from North Star Title. Plug. Okay. All right, let's have some fun. So, there's this little thing when we're buying a house, we always worry about other things besides the house. We talk about what? We talk about house prices, right? Prices are going up. Some say they're going down. Do we know what it is? Who thinks it's going up, going down? Where are we at? Who wants to say it? Nationwide numbers. Go ahead, Brett.
I'd say it's probably stagnant and going down.
Stagnant or going down? All right, no, that's not too bad. That's not too bad. Anyone else have a guess? Okay, no, that's good. House prices, I'm going to stay with this for a little bit. So, here in Arizona, I'm going to just talk about Arizona, okay? I have my trusty board here. Everyone knows a graph like this, right? Okay? We're going to pretend that line is the 5% appreciation number that us real estate agents and lenders love to tell you guys. Your house was going to appreciate over time 5%. Everyone's looking around right now going, yeah, right. What are you kidding me? Well, let's start at 2000 and let's go to 2025. I'm going to show you a line of where house prices are and what kind of happened in Arizona. This is just Arizona, not around the country, okay? We start here. Arizona kind of went like this a little bit, right, until like 2005. And then what happened, right? Price came down, and now we're under that 5% mark, but then it started doing this. You know how long it's been like that? Anyone want to take a guess? A year between 2006 and 2025? It's been staying under the market. Do you know what year it finally kind of eventually crossed over?
Higher or lower?
So it's lower, it's below the line, right? It's below that, this is the 5% line. So we're down below right now. Do you know when it finally did this? 2009. Okay, that's a good guess. Anyone else? Okay, getting closer. About 2017. So for how long we've been under that 5% mark, but are we appreciating at a right consistency? Yes. Even though the house prices are not towards that 5% rate from 2000. So we crossed over basically in 2018, something like that, right? And then we've been up here since, we all know, through COVID, right? Can you believe COVID's 5 years ago, guys? 5.5 years ago. We still talk about it like it was yesterday. It's kind of a weird feeling. But then after COVID, what happens? Finally coming back down. Do you think we cross back underneath the 5% line right now, today? Anyone? Anyone think they went down below this line and we got finally down here? No. So if you did buy a house anytime here, even up here, so when people bought these houses, we had a rush of the market, right, in Arizona in 2018 through 2020, and then of course COVID. I'm going to leave this up here. What's happening with house prices is that you're right. You're absolutely right. It's coming back down to that 5% mark. But are things, if you bought in 2020 till now, are you seeing you appreciating? No, not exactly. That's why you're seeing things are flat for the last 5 years. But we don't talk about real estate for 5 years. You don't own real estate for 5 years. Who here, besides Brittany, has owned real estate for less than 5 years? Raise your hand. Well, no, you've owned real estate more than that. No, just owned real estate. Who's owned real estate for 5 years or less? So who cares, right? No one in this house, in this class today, cares about the last 5 years. So if you did buy your house before 2020, you're loving life. You have appreciation. So it's all about this perception. And we'll have some things about that. So house prices, I just want to share that with house prices and what that's all about. This other thing here is called house formations. This is a very, very large piece. And if you're looking to buy investments, this is huge right now. And we'll talk a lot more about this. But house formations, do you know what I mean by that term? Anybody? I know there's real estate agents in here. House formations, you're not familiar? House formations are basically, how do people come together to buy a house, right? Typically it's what? By yourself, your spouse, buy a house. Today, the reason people in their 25 to 40-year-old range, they're actually buying houses with their families. Mom and dad, brother and sister. Some are actually buying with friends. Ugh. I say it that way jokingly, actually, because you got to do what you got to do. There are ways beyond mortgage to protect you there. You could go on title with your friend. Don't get me wrong, you can. Am I right, title? With anybody you like. Are there ways to take title to protect you and your heirs with that house, that your friend doesn't get involved? Yes? North Star, where are you at? Yeah. So even though down the road you're going to sell the house or something happens to you, because things can happen, where does that house go? Does it go all to your friend? No, that's what a lot of people think already. No, you can protect yourself with the right title partners, with the right estate attorney, and life insurance. You can absolutely go ahead and take care of the things you need to take care of to make sure that when you do buy this property, you're protected down the road. Believe it or not, 25 to 30-year-olds are understanding that. It's weird. They're not supposed to know that. You're supposed to be 50. So housing formations are getting clever. They're getting really clever with that, and why they're saying, hey, you know what? Let's just get this together. We'll figure this out. This is just so that we what? Earn appreciation. Someone said that, right? You earn appreciation. You did. Brittany, about building wealth, appreciation. And then therefore they could take away that appreciation down the road to go and split off and do what they got to do when they are eventually going on their own or with their families, what have you. So it's amazing, and it's just a different mentality for us to think about if you're going to buy an investment property, who's really coming into your house? What does that really mean? What does that look like and feel like? Or do you want to have other people involved? You want partners? Think about that. It's okay to do that, guys. Show me the money, right? House prices, we talk about money. Interest rates. Money, cash down, things like that. There's all these different things. How do people or lenders bring that money is how I'm going to share a lot of that today. But interest rates, right, is the market condition, the market trends. What's going on with interest rates? And of course, with this one, being a mortgage guy, I can nerd out pretty hard. But what I'm going to say is this: August 1st was I think the first domino for rates to finally come down. Okay, and it's not going to just go straight down the floor. It'll staircase. It'll go horizontal staircase and maybe up and then come down. Right? It's going to do that for the next 6 to 8 months. The biggest reason, and there's two factors of this. One is unemployment. That's the reason why we saw the first domino fall. Finally, the BLS, the Bureau of Labor Statistics, is saying, hey, guess what? Jobs suck. Finally. They haven't said that for 18 to 24 months. They have not said that. And they finally are saying that now. So that's one culprit. The second culprit always is inflation. Inflation is interesting right now, right? Because we're all like, hey, guess what? We're no longer 9%. We're 3%. And a lot of people don't realize Hey, do you know that means it's still 3% up from the 9%? So prices still suck, right? Energy stinks. Groceries, food, all the things we pay for, insurance. Gosh, don't get me wrong, started on insurance. Insurance is crazy right now. So that's inflationary. And because of that, what's going to happen the next 6 months? Well, inflation, because it did go down, means those numbers last year are small numbers, right? They're small because everything was going down. But now if you have like any economic activity, that inflation is expected to maybe rise or stay flat, okay, for the next 6 to 8 months. So does that mean mortgage rates go down or up if inflation stays this consistent? I don't know. Mortgage rates are going to probably stay consistent. There's going to be other factors why the Feds are going to do what they got to do to cut rates, which I think is the job side. So I know I'm a little nerdy there, but I just want to let you know kind of what things may look like going forward. I don't see mortgage rates really like drastically going down. 6 to 8 months, hopefully we're at 6%. Hopefully is what I'm saying. Okay, that's write it down. Bet on me. Let's go. 6% in the next 6 to 8 months is probably where we're at. I think in 18 to 24 months, maybe we're finally under 6, 5 and a quarter, 3/4. Yes, sir.
But that rate is still way lower than it was 15 years ago, right? Like 20 years ago.
Well, that rate's a lot lower than 15 months ago, 12 months ago, or 24 months ago. Rates are rates. It's one very small piece of the pie of what to do with your financing, and I'll share a lot of that with you guys. Listen, I gave a guy a $2 million loan, and he did a 9.75% rate. Sounds awesome. And the reason is because he didn't want to spend another $300,000 to get to 7.5%. Go figure. I get that, and it's more down payment. What's that?
Help him on his taxes.
What's that? What will help him on taxes? Yep, it does. But for him, I didn't want to put another $300,000 down. So what I'm saying is there's always different strategies, different ways, and different things to make sure that your financing and the numbers make sense. And we'll talk about that. Any questions or any of that before I move on? Let's have some fun. All right. I told you, I love what Brittany and Robinette were saying, right? It's about legacy. I think the reason why we build wealth is for the grandkids. It's for legacy. It's to, of course, I like to be selfish. I go to Disney a lot. I take trips and adventures, so I spend my money on that. But it's also making sure we're leaving our kids, our families, with something much greater. And real estate is one of those asset classes, right? Hopefully you have life insurance policies, annuities, index accounts. You're talking with other things besides real estate to help you build your wealth. We'll talk about that, but it's all about legacy. And I want to focus on that. I'm going to close this out, okay? You warm? Keep coming over here. I'm like, oh, hit that heat. So as I talked about, right? There's other ways. Where do we build legacy besides real estate? Inheritance, right? Sorry, didn't mean to say that out loud. I was kidding. Stocks, digital currency. That's a big one right now. Bitcoin, right? You're hearing digital currency. And what did Trump do? And what Fannie and Freddie are looking to do? What's that, Matt?
They're going to allow it essentially as being either. I mean, we've used it in the past for like reserves, but it's essentially becoming more liquid and more. You can use it to help qualify for your loans. It's a lot easier to.
A lot easier too. And what's even crazier is, do you think America's the only one that does cryptocurrency? No.
Anybody with a phone?
What's that?
Anybody with a phone?
Anybody with a phone. So around the world. So guess what's coming into our market in 2026 and 27? People that have cryptocurrency around the world buying real estate in here in the U.S. and no one's able to stop them. That's a market that hasn't been unlocked yet, right? It's been kind of a pain in the butt to do cryptocurrency, but with what's going on in the future right now, they're kind of easing up on those regulations and easing up on those things because cryptocurrency actually is a pretty legitimate bank that's very structured and very protected. So they know what's going on in the blockchain is what they say. But I just want to let you guys know there's new players coming. New players coming in. In this class, we're talking about building wealth, talking about buying real estate, talking about investing. What's our future looking like? So digital currency is a big one, a big, big one. I had a guy in January in Scottsdale. He's like, yeah, I just took out $3 million, bought this house in Scottsdale, and I need delayed financing. I want another $1 million back. All right, here we go. So digital currency is a big one. Other ways to build wealth. You can build a company, guys. You know you can do that. That is allowed. Different types of revenue, flowing with different types of companies, different types of jobs. I learned this. I shared it with my team earlier this week. You know, your 15, 16, 17-year-olds can go onto a free website called Facebook, Instagram, and they could put on a free community page. They could bring some products and be affiliates with Amazon. And guess what they're doing? They're getting a percentage. They're making money. They're monetizing, and they didn't have to. What startup cost they get? Zero startup cost. So our 23 to 33-year-olds are understanding this. So who's going to be your renters? Who's going to be people that you want to invest with? These are the kind of people that are doing it. Flows of different revenues. Life insurance is how we build wealth. And then, of course, holding and selling real estate, what we're talking about today. Is there something I didn't put on the list, something I didn't say that builds wealth for you guys?
Getting lucky, winning the lottery.
Win the lottery. I love it. Yes, let's do that. Maybe today. We'll see, because there's a chance to win $50,000 today. That's kind of part of it. So, yeah, winning the lottery. That's a good one. I didn't put that up there. The odds aren't great, but there's cost. So, but I just want to understand, like, I'm not that person that's like, it's only real estate. Get a mortgage. Let's leverage. No, it's not that way at all, okay? And I don't have a six-pack, so I'm not Andy Elliott or something like that. I'm here to help you guys. Yeah. yeah, exactly. Oh my God, that's so good. So yeah, let's talk about primary homes. How does a primary home provide wealth, right? Did you know, and this is the first thing, I love this. I always remind people, they go, wait, really? Before you're 62 years old, there's only one place you actually can pull tax-free money. Do you know where that is? Not from your retirement, because you get taxed if you pull out money early. It's not retirement funds, not IRAs or 401ks. It's not that. What else? Say it out loud. Equity. So the sooner these people buy homes as early as you possibly can, the better. Why? Because you could take a cash out refinance. You could sell the house. There are some capital gains things and things like that, don't get me wrong. But if you still live in the house and you pull money out of it, or own the house and still money out of it, all those dollars are tax-free. All of it. Uncle Sam can tell you what to do. You can do whatever you want with it. Go to Vegas. Let's go. All right? So tax-free money is the only place to get it tax-free before you're 62 is in a house. So huge benefits there. It is only one part to build wealth, not the only. We just talked about last slide, right? I'm that kind of person. I don't want to just be like, pull all the equity out. No, let's make sense of the numbers. What else are you doing? What other plans are you punching in to build wealth? But can equity help you? Yes. I love this line. Monthly payments typically go down when you own a mortgage. You're like, wait a minute, Eli, it's fixed for 30 years and I will keep my loan for 30 years. And that's what it is. No, your payment does what? When you first get a house, your payment is the highest payment. It's only going to go down. Now, of course, you pull equity out. Different story, right? More money, I get that. But there's a reason why you're doing that. You qualify and approve it and blah, blah, blah. But if you didn't do anything and you just wanted to never pull equity, your mortgage payment will eventually go down. It goes from 7% now to hopefully 6% in 8 months, like I said, or 6% down to 5%. Or how many people here have a under 4% interest rate? Majority of the room. Okay? You know who's on a mortgage for at least 20 years or more with multiple properties? Okay, Barbara, Julie. Before 2020, when's the last time you saw a rate under 4%? No, that's happened. Anyone? 9 years ago? No, you're actually right. 9 years ago, it was a glimpse. A glimpse 9 years ago, like 2014. It was 11 years. Before that, it was like 93, 94. So everyone's waiting for those rates to go to 4%. Imagine waiting 20 years. What did you just miss out on? A lot. So I always like to bring that out. So monthly payments typically go down through owning a mortgage, or of course doing different strategies to quickly pay down your mortgage. You know, what's a regular way that people pay down their mortgage faster? What do? They increase their payment. Yep, exactly. More per month. I see a lot of people pay. Go ahead, Robinette. Yes. So cut it in half, pay twice a month. The reason is because then you made 26 payments in the year, which then equivalates to 13 months. So you made one more month payment. Do you know how many years you shut off by doing 1 month, 13 months of payments a year? Yeah, 6 to 8 years, depending what it is, how much it is, blah blah blah. So you're paying off quickly, right? I have people are actually looking into things that they bought a house 5 years ago, and they're going, hey, or 3 years ago, because it's kind of like, you know, mid sixes or even 7%, and they go, listen, I want to refinance. Instead of I'm at the 25-year mark in my mortgage, can I go to 20 or 15? And you're saving like 130, 150 grand in interest at that point, or just transition into a 15-year deal and you're just able to make it happen. But again, it just makes sense on your cash flow, and we'll talk about that. Different strategies paid off quickly. And that's all in your primary. We're not even talking about investment properties. So the quickest way to gain real estate is you buy a house. A year later, 2 years later, you do what? You leave that house, rent it, and go buy the next house. Voila, second house. Okay? Voila, second house. Okay? And what's cool about that, and some people know this, and I'm assuming a lot of you do, when you depart a residence, I actually can take that rent and apply it to your situation, so you not have to afford 2 mortgages. It's only affording the one that you're going into. You can write, or that mortgage that you're leaving is considered like a ghost. Like that payment doesn't exist anymore. Pretty crazy. So something to think about going down the road. If you can get renters in there pretty quickly, you know.
Do you have to have a lease signed that
No.
somebody is in the home?
Nope. I just have to do a 1007, which is a part of your appraisal. I can say, this is what the market rents are over there. Enjoy. So.
What if you want to do it opposite? What if you want to stay in the house you're in, but you want to buy one to rent?
Then it's more down payment, right? Go ahead, Robinette.
I was going to say is, as long as but never mind. My brain went somewhere.
No, you're okay. So I want to do it with minimum payment, minimum down. I buy my first house at 3.5%, 5%, whatever. I could leave that house and buy another primary for 3.5%, 5%. So depending on how, distances, there's some things in there. But I could be less than 10% and around 5% to buy my next house. What you just said, if I wanted to just buy another property and live in the one I'm in, absolutely, you could do investment property, and we'll talk about that, but that's 20% down. Maybe, if you have it, sure. But how cool is it to have 2 properties and I only did 5% down on both of them?
Is there an age limit?
18 and over, as long as you can sign a contract.
So if he has a son that is 17, 18, he can buy a house and put a son into it?
Correct.
Okay.
At minimum down payment, because the son is considered the one that's living there as a primary. And you could do 3% down, 3.5% down. Absolutely. That's another hack that people do. Besides leaving the house you're in, buy the house with your kid in it, even though they may or may not be in it. Who cares? No one really cares. I give you the keys and a brother. Yeah. As long as the person intends to live there as the primary, that down payment is primary home. It does not matter. It's not considered investment or anything like that. For those have elderly parents, don't kill me, and they can't qualify on their own, you actually can have that second house and buy that house as a primary down payment as well, because it's for your elderly parent that can't qualify on their own, or if you have children with certain needs, disabilities. Are they looking for us? Then you could also buy a house for them as a primary, even though it's your name on it, not theirs. Go ahead.
Do you have to put them on the title?
With that scenario I just mentioned? Not at all. No. It used to be called like the Fannie Mae Family Act or something like that, right? I just forgot the terms. Go ahead.
Do you then protect yourself? You write a survivorship?
Yeah, with titling wise, absolutely. So you're on title, but then the beneficiary deed below that could be whoever, whatever you need it to be. And then if you have title or an estate attorney, then you can do things that, really crazy there. So, but I just wanted to share how we can manipulate things using a primary home to build wealth with real estate. Did you guys learn something on that part? Yeah? So here's another, so now we're going to talk a little more deeply on, you own a home. Is the home you're in make sense for you, right? Does the home you're in, yeah, you bought a house in 2020 and it was $400,000, and you're like, yeah, I don't want to give up my 4% rate. I just can't do it. I get it, but you probably made more money. Your wife probably makes more money. It gets to a point where what we want to see and something to evaluate and to take a look at and make sense and tell your friends and family this is that your home value of your primary home should be 3 to 5 times your actual household income. So if you make $200,000, your minimum house value must be $600,000 or more. You're like, wait a minute, what? I have some people out there that's under $550,000 or $500,000 house and they make $200,000. Sounds awesome, right? Bills down, I get it. I'm going to show you on my next board why that makes sense. And I have my YouTube channel, I have a video about this. Because we don't want to cut off our future. You always hear there's probably this glass ceiling when you own a house. How much value can you really get? How much can you go through before you have to think about, well, maybe I should go buy the next one? So let's talk about a couple things and I'll come back to that. So how many years in Arizona typically a house doubles in value? Do you know how many years it takes? Anybody want to take a shot? Take a guess. That when it doubles. So if you buy a $500,000 house, it turns to $1 million. About how long?
30 years.
Say it again.
20.
20? 10? Anyone else?
In today's market,
You said 2. 2 years.
10 in today's market.
10 years. Absolutely. Great job, guys. 10 years. Good guess. Just kidding. So now, don't get me wrong, if anyone bought a house in 2017, 2018, and got through COVID, Ryan and I, you actually doubled in 7 years because of that 2021 era. Things were rapid, right? But typically, normal markets, 10 years, okay? So then it comes down to, okay, you have this house, maybe it is worth my 3 to 5 times my income. Well, what do I need to do? Do I need to sell it to get into something else? Do I need to renovate it? Those are the questions I would like to ask you when we're talking about cash out refinances, we're talking about different things with your property. I will actually go through this conversation because I want to make sure that the house you're in is worth renovating. I want to make sure the house you're in is worth building wealth. And so owning a home of $500K versus $700K, in 10 years, what does that mean? Right? In 10 years, that house at $500K turns to double, guys. 10 years, double. $1 million. But if you have a $700,000 house and it doubles, what is it worth? 1.4. All you did was sell a house and buy a house, and you just got $400,000 10 years from now, more than what you expected. Sounds better, right? But we all know a $700,000 house versus a $500,000 house, what happens with your payment? Was it? Goes up. Dang it. Mortgages, how dare you? Just keep me my same payment. So, on a $500,000 house, right? Your payment is going to be, I'm just going to do some cowboy numbers here. Say $2,800. Okay? On a $700,000 house, it's going to be $3,800. Right? Monthly. Okay? But when you bought this $500,000 house, that's the payment. Maybe it's now worth, I don't know, $625, right? The value went up to $625. Oops, that was a little small there. $625, but we want to buy a $700,000 house. But how much equity we have now? $125,000. There's a little kicker there, though. You made payments. So is it really $125 or is it more? Right, because you made payments.
But you're going to pay fees. So.
Yeah, so it probably balances out. But let's call it $125, okay? But then you have, I don't know, a couple credit cards, right? Went on vacations while you're in this house. You have credit cards. You have car payments.
Disneyland.
Yeah, right? Disneyland. You got to get there. So now you have, I don't know, $300 in credit cards. Car payments these days, whew, right? Tell me about it. They're insane. Look at it. She's like, right? I think minimum car payment, what's the average car payment now? Do you remember, Matt? Anyone know? It's like $600 to $700. Average. But your husband and wife, and you know the wife hates your car. So she's going to get hers. So that's $1,200, right? Credit cards, you know, hey, we got to get that side by side. You know what I mean? Let's go ahead and get the toys we need. Or What else I see? I even see student loans still, right? And that's like $400, right? Toys. There we go. Hold on. What did I say? $1,200 was cars. $400 for a toy. RV, side-by-sides. We're in Arizona, guys. They all have them. And then we also have student loans, right? Still haven't paid your student loans off. You're 35 years old, and that's $500. All right, and that's probably like 30K. I don't know in balance. So if we add all this together, that's 1,500 plus 400 is 1,900. 1,900 plus 500 is $2,400. Plus what? Whoa. So what's that really payment? What is it? $6,200. What happens if we take this equity to pay this off and give you a $4,000 payment? Would you love me to save you $2,200? And have a better house. You still keep the cars and the toys, guys. Or I'm just paying those balances off and that monthly payments to say, hey, instead of $6,200 a month, because your mortgage is only this. Oh my God, you're going to give me $1,000 more a month? No, I'm giving you $2,200 back every month, and you get the bigger house. This is called a move-up purchase with debt consolidation. I do this, and I average around $1,200 to $1,500 a month for them to buy the new house because I'm paying off their debt with their equity and the rest of it for down payment. Math is math, guys. And so what am I doing? I'm saying, yeah, sell the house, right? Talk to Robinette. What is it going to take to sell your house to get into that next level and give you $2,000 back? That makes no sense. Now you're able to say, hey, here's $400,000 down the road. Thank you, Eli, for saving me $2,200 a month and giving me $400,000 for 10 years. Take $2,200 a month times 120. I'm also giving you that, but you know you're going to buy another car. So don't worry about it, right? So that's kind of how we're able to look and evaluate, is your primary home making sense? What do you think about that? Is that new to you? Is that different? I'm different. I'm different. Do we like that? Different way to think about it, right? So that's primary homes. Now let's talk about investment homes. We're all building wealth with investment homes. And this is kind of like what I was saying. So I'm going to talk about a little philosophy, kind of why you want to get into something like this and build this wealth. Like I said, you're going to buy when the time is right for you. Brett, your wife Nicole, bought the time right for you. You needed a different house. So we bought one. A lot of people saying you're crazy. I'm sure they did, right? They're like, why are you buying right now? How dare you? Yeah, exactly. So a lot of people are saying that, and it's like, wait a minute, what? You don't know. No one knows even how much they make a year, honestly. I have to do income all the time for people to qualify for loans, and they have no idea. They're like, I make $10,000 a year. I'm like, it's actually $8,700 a month. Come on, stop it. So let's knock it off. But ultimately, it's when the time's right for you. That's everything. And then I'm supposed to paint you the picture to make sure the numbers work. And there's a very cliche saying, all my realtors will know this one, and lenders in the room, is basically you don't wait for the market to buy. You buy the house and wait, right? Because the sooner you buy the house, what happens? We already talked about it, appreciation, other things happening. And then voila, you're making it happen. But yeah, so it's always about learning, if the time's right for you, it makes sense for you, buy. Then hold on to it. Figure it out, make it happen. Of course, with investment homes, we already talked about this, we qualify with future rents. So you could buy a property, and I'll talk about a product that I only care about what the future rents are to give you the loan. So future rents of that property is how you can qualify beyond your own income to say, oh, can you afford 2 monthly mortgage payments? That's not the case. You can buy an investment property, and that income that's expected to come to you because you're saying it's an investment property, it's also qualifiable income. Boom. Another $2,000 in your income you didn't even know you had because you're buying this. Same thing, when you get a mortgage or you want to leverage a loan, that mortgage is the highest it's going to be. Down the road, what do? You get to refinance. So that cash flow opens up. You're getting monthly rent. You got your mortgage payment. Here's how much money you're bringing home. But if that mortgage payment goes down, more money comes home. Very simple mathematics there. Okay? And then the best benefit of any investment property, your income taxes. Income taxes. Who's owned investment properties already? Raise your hand. Okay. What's the benefits on income taxes? Since I'm not a CPA, you probably can tell maybe your story on how income tax is different from you, for you when in owning an investment property versus not owning.
Well, I don't know. That's what my CPA. On my investment property, it was really fun because everything I did to the property was tax deductible. So if I was gonna upgrade it so that the value of the home went up, it would have to be something that would make a difference, but that was always tax deductible. And then you also have the benefit of the additional equity after that.
Yeah.
It's kind of like free money.
Yes, it's huge. And it's additional income, right? We talked about before, how do you build wealth? It's different revenue streams. Well, every house is kind of like your own corporation, has a revenue stream. So you're having different revenues to grow your business and grow your portfolio to then grow your revenue. And then very large benefits. The IRS really loves it when people have homes. I'm going to tell you something. They really do like it. So, and there's a lot of benefit there. But thank you for sharing. All right.
Another thing, like you said,
Sure.
like your mortgage never goes up.
Yeah, so it's a fixed
How
cost.
about rents? Do rents ever go down?
Do they?
No.
Yeah, I love that. Great call, Brett. Rents never come down. We're going to talk about that in a moment. I'm going to share some things. Get to the fun stuff. I just want to share like some things, philosophies, right? Where to look and how much to afford, right? We got to figure those numbers out, because even though I say this all the time, you have a 7% rate. One person pays $5,000 a month, and this other person has a 7% rate, pays $3,000 a month. But they're both 7% rate, guys. Don't be rate sensitive. Be cash flow sensitive. What does that mean? That means that, okay, can you afford a $5,000 payment? Yeah, but do you want to? Do you have to? When it comes to investment properties, no, that is not the case whatsoever. You kind of want to see, okay, what kind of rents can I get there to make sense for that mortgage? And then what kind of cash flow, and what does that mean to me in the next 3, 5, 7, 10 years? And how's that really working out for me in building that wealth? So knowing how much to afford is crucial, of course. And we'll get to those numbers, and we figure that out pretty fast. But what's a strategy? Finding an investment home, finding an investment property. I like to say, where are the jobs? Who's bringing in the jobs? Do you know different parts of the valley bringing in jobs? Anyone know? What was it?
East and northwest.
East and Northwest? Yeah? Big time.
Can I interrupt you?
Yeah, of course.
I'm stuck on, I was always under the impression that in order to buy a second home, you had to have your first home a signed lease, proving that somebody was going to be living there before you could get another loan for another house.
No.
Wasn't that how it was, though?
Maybe.
Yeah.
That's what we live.
Not today.
Yeah.
I'm going to share some things.
1007 is
Yeah, it's all you need.
Okay, so that is in the past.
the appraisers
Yeah.
take into account the market rents, comparable market rents in your area. And so they assume that you can rent it out for so much, the lender is willing to
Look at that number to qualify.
that property or lend on that based on the comparable rents in the market. Specifically to that 1007 appraiser.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm going to share a couple of other products too for you. That's going to like, don't even worry about any of that. I'll show you in a couple of things. Okay. But yeah, where are the jobs? We said East Valley, North. I like to look at where those jobs are, right? Believe it or not, Intel here in Chandler is still a huge place for jobs, even though they're laying off people. I don't get it. They're like a revolving door. But even better than that is going to be East Mesa, right? We all know Mesa Gateway now. It's not Phoenix Mesa Gateway. Who knew that? Isn't that crazy? It's called Mesa Gateway now. Forget Phoenix. And so, but they have what just opened out there, right? Google, Facebook, and they have, what's that? Microchips. Yep. Amazon, LG, right? Batteries. So huge mecca area. Well, if all these people need to get into these jobs, where do they got to move? Where do they got to be? They got to be in that area, right? So, and then you have the TSMC. Everyone knows about that one. TSMC, the big Taiwanese chip factory up at I-17. Well, so is 101 and I-17 a pretty cool area to maybe look at if you want to buy an investment property? Probably, because people are going to are flying out maybe into these jobs because they have like thousands of jobs to open. They got to live somewhere. So talk with Robinette, know what those listings are like, so you can see maybe this is what some targets are. And I have a few targets for us. A top resource, believe it or not, every city, like Tempe, Chandler, Mesa, Gilbert, they have their own economic councils and economic data. They will share and show you what's going on in this world. I went to a couple meetings. Chandler, I didn't even know this. Chandler are no longer building single-family homes. They are 94% fully occupied on their land. The rest of that 6% is for multifamily that hasn't truly been up and running yet. They're built, and then commercial. So Chandler has a decision to make. How do you get more homes in Chandler? Anyone have an idea or read the news or anything like that? Go ahead, Robinette. They're building up. Multi-use. So on top of, kind of like what you see at the Epicenter, Agatopia area, how you have the apartments and things above the restaurants and the commercial use. That's what Chandler's going to be doing. So what do? They say, hey, this is going to be a problem. We want to make sure our permitting is on top of it so that we can turn that around and make that build happen and make that renovation happen for our commercial development. Boom, there you go. So you're buying something in Chandler, guess what? There's not like there's going to be other competition besides rent. So pretty wild stuff. Yeah, Mesa just talked about, they're huge. Mesa's a huge city. A lot of land, a lot of people. And with the whole Mesa area, it's just, there's so much. They have about 70% occupied, even though it looks like a ghost town up there with all those big square buildings. It's kind of, they are leased and they are getting people in there. It's just taking a long time to get the people in there. So, but just think about where the jobs are and where some growth is, right? And economic councils in different cities can help you that. A little pro tip if you want to invest and look at some things. Have anyone, I just heard this yesterday, fresh off the market, of Pad Split. Have you heard of a company called Pad Split? No? Pad Split is a service. So everyone knows project management companies. They have a whole bunch of homes. You could put your home on there. They'll rent it for you. They'll take care of it, right? Put the landscaping done, take care of your pool. They do all these things. But what Pad Split does, it's like an Airbnb for long-term leases. So, but your property, say you have a 3-bedroom house, you're going to have 3 separate tenants in it. Traveling nurses, I'm trying to think of the other, like just people who don't want to go to an apartment place and spend $1,200, $1,300 on a 1-bedroom. Yeah, flight attendants, thank you. That's a big one. Yep.
Construction contractors that are coming out.
Look at you guys are doing this for me. You're absolutely right. Absolutely right. And then same thing with these other companies that are coming in. They're probably bringing in contractors, like you're saying. They only need it for 5-6 months, and then voila, or a revolving door of a place that they can hold a lease at. Pad Split actually is this website that brings on these homes and take a 3-bedroom house and go, hey, guess what? In your common areas, like a living room or dining room, let's split that into some bedrooms. So now it's a 5-bedroom place, and now you're making $1,000 a head in those. So it's a 3-bedroom house that turned to a 5-bedroom lease, and now you're making $5,000 a month, and you don't have to control any of that or worry about it. They take care of it. They're going to find the people and put the listing up there, as well as bring on more homes and things of that nature. It's pretty sweet. I just learned this yesterday. I was like, whoa, what is this? I always heard of like, was it the living? Oh my gosh, I'm losing my mind. We have one in Adora Trails. What's that place in Adora Trails? The halfway houses kind of thing. What is it? What is it? I didn't hear it. Yeah, like a rehab home. Yeah, so we all talk about like, and so affordable. It's also affordable housing. Kind of all group into this. So you need like special permitting, special things in your home, all these kinds of things. Well, this is kind of a way to kind of sidestep that a little bit, and they go ahead and say, hey, you know what? We can do the same type of concept with that type of occupations and leasing, and we'll take care of it for you. So it's interesting. I think it could be something huge because of affordable housing crisis. Affordable housing is huge out there, and it needs to happen. So you having an investment property in a place where you can get a few different leases and heads and beds, well, that can help a lot in our affordable housing crisis. So, any questions with that? Anything else? No? Easy? I see the wheels are turning. The wheels are turning. What?
You buy the place and you provide the home, and they handle all the rest.
Correct. Yep, the leases, all the information for your property. They can take care of your property. It's pretty wild. Pretty wild. They'll make. Go ahead.
So would we have to furnish the home, or?
Yeah, you can or you don't. It's up to you. That's up to you. Typically, you would want to if it's something like that. especially if it's like just the kitchen and then just the rooms. I would say yes. But yeah, go ahead.
So you get one of those, and you're in a neighborhood.
Uh-huh.
Safe down the street here. Don't you have to have special permits and all that kind of stuff? You just can't move a bunch of people into this home.
Yeah, the location definitely has to be something to be sought after. With the CCNRs, if there's an HOA, you got to be careful with stuff like that. You can't just like buy a house like here in Adora Trails for $500,000. That's a 4-bedroom, and then make it into a 6-bedroom. And be like, hey everyone, enjoy your parking. That's not going to happen, right? We all know that. So you can't have that many cars. So you just got to watch out for things like that. There's definitely places and areas though in Arizona that this is what he told me. He had 300 homes and approximately 1,200 rooms to lease out. It's pretty crazy. So and that's all here in Arizona, only Arizona. So yeah. I have a silent wow there. It's a pretty crazy service, but an interesting concept, and it kind of goes along with the housing formations we talked about earlier, right? Brother and sister moving in, maybe friends, and yeah, it's nice to have a house and have the living room and everything, but if it's cheaper, then it's cheaper. I mean, it's amazing how many people out there love co-living spaces, co-working. Imagine all the co-working spaces, right, that's happening right now. It's very normal, and it's becoming more common for our 25 to 35-year-olds to have this co-space this way, but yet still have their privacy. They don't care. They don't mind it. It's interesting.
I know for a lot of younger people too, it's advantageous this way because if they share normal rent with like a roommate and something happens, they don't get stuck with other people's rent.
Very good point. Yeah, this is separate leases. You still pay yours, even though someone moves out and it's occupant. Still, they only pay theirs. Very good point. Thank you, Chris. He's a 27-year-old, so he's in that mix. So. What's that?
Right, the company would, like if somebody were to move out or whatever.
Yeah, the company handles it.
So it's my house, and now I've got one renter instead of 5.
Sure.
The company picks up that other part,
Well, they're gonna fill it for you.
but in the meantime,
You're paying yours regardless. You should be making money in those rooms already that you're cash flowing, right? So say you had the house for 2 years this way. So hopefully in say the last 6 months you only have one renter, but hopefully those months before that 6-month mark you made enough money to cash flow yourself. So you want to make sure the numbers have to make sense. You want to make sure you have reserves and things in place, but they're going to find somebody pretty quickly for you. Yeah, you still got to pay your mortgage. Still got to pay the expense, but that's only the mortgage. So you're just losing on the revenue on the top end. You're only having part of it. So I'm going to show 3 different locations where to buy, but I also want to share, when I share these numbers and share these things, I kind of want to share some parameters of what, the box I put it in, so you have an idea of like what this return of investment's like, what those numbers look like. So this is basically kind of what you were just talking about. I'm just going to buy an investment property, put 20% down, right? That's it. It's just, I'm going to go buy this one for 20% down. I did it at a 7.25% rate. I did it higher than what I think is going to happen going forward. And I did a 2% average increase to rent versus 4 to 6%. That's normal, guys. All right. So I'm very conservative with a lot of numbers here. And then of course, there's no change in rate nor paying down of the loan. It's just, you did 20%, your average rental increase in rent is 2%. Here's your rate, blah, blah, blah. This very cookie cutter, very conservative look on buying properties that are on the listing today. So any questions with that? Pretty simple, right? So let's look at some numbers, get jazzed up here. I know this is small. I'm going to reach out since I know there's people in the back. So this address right here is in Mesa. Remember I said I think Mesa is an area where you want to look at because why? There's jobs going to be happening there. So what to buy? This is an active listing today that you can put an offer in right now, okay? As long as you have 20% down. If you have 20% down, let's talk. All right, and then Robinette can show you the house. Let's go. So the address, if you look it up, 10136 East Southern Avenue. It's a condo, unit 1052 in Mesa. I think the, what was it? It was like 200, I forgot the price already in my head. It was like 280,000, I think, to buy it. Because the initial investment was like about 59,000. So this is for, I'm going to talk 10 years. Look, the first year you're down 22%. Do we know why the first year you're down when buying an investment property? What's that? fees and down payment, right? So, but how many times do you make a down payment? Once. So that's why this one hits hard. It's hard, okay? So down 22.8% your money. Ugh, that sucks. Second year, hey, you're up 3.2. Yay. But you didn't really make a lot. You didn't really make your investment back, let's be honest. So once you get to a point in the next 10 years, 275% in return on investment annually in the 10-year mark. But if we want to do a return on investment, if you just said, okay, here's my rental income for 10 years, it's $302,000. My appreciation for 10 years is $121,000, so it's low. It's not even counting in our 10-year mark here. Hello. So very conservative number of $424,000 in total gross revenue with appreciation and rental income alone. So minus expenses. I actually have in here a amount of money to show you the repairs, right? There's going to be some. So I do have a percentage in there for repairs. I do have your property and interest, property tax and insurance, your interest, all that's cost. And then of course the cost to buy and sell. So I put in a lot of different things in there with fees and everything to say, hey, guess what? $424,000, you sell it in 10 years, $260,000 in expenses, sounds pretty good. So your profit's $163,000. So in 10 years, if you profited $163,000, wouldn't it be nice to have $16,000 a year in your pocket? Profit. That's after expenses, guys. After expenses. $16,000 a year. So your investment was $59,000, you gained $163,000, so your return on investment is 275% in 10 years. Your average compound return, so instead of like seeing all these numbers come up, let's just talk about this. This is my favorite number because when you talk about different IRAs, 401ks, different building wealth, what's your typical return on investment that they're going to promise you? 8% maybe? Yeah, 6, 8. I have heard 10. Maybe they're, doing stuff with the cartel, but that's fine. But here it's 14%. And $59,000, this is the funniest part. You know how the average American equity they have in their house right now around the country? How much equity they have to use?
The whole country?
No, I'm just saying the average person in America, nationwide number. I'm not saying Arizona. This is a stat I know. Nationwide, the average homeowner has over $250,000 in equity to use. Is it okay to maybe pull out just $60,000 to make $160,000? Maybe, right? Maybe. I like to say depends. If you're okay with it, I'm going to share a couple different things here. But again, this is a condo. This is also with a $258 HOA, guys. That's in this equation. $258 HOA fee per month. A month. That's in this equation. In Mesa. It's a condo. Yeah. All condos, you'd be lucky to be under 150 with a condo. Lucky. Very lucky. Even under 200, I would say. So Mesa, 258 HOA fee. That's all included in this scenario, guys. I can do this with every property. You give me an address, I can do this analysis, and it's going to give you like 2 other pages, actually. I didn't want to give you all of that and nerd out with you. I just wanted to share the final numbers here and kind of show you what it's all about. This is today. Today, to buy this, you can do this in Mesa. It's active listing. Maybe they put an offer today. I don't know.
It's open house right now.
There you go. Sign a broker agreement right now. Robinette, get those docs out.
Pretty clean.
Here's another scenario. This was a lot of a higher. It was like $330,000. I think. Look at this. You see that address? Again, active listing in Glendale. And it says Glendale, but it's basically the southwest quadrant of the 101 and I-17, northern area. So kind of like TSMC area is what I want to share. And so rental income, I think it was a 4-bedroom house. Am I right? Hurry up, dude. Come on, you were supposed to be on this. Just kidding. I'm putting them on the spot right now. So I think I have my rents a little higher than what you could get on a 2-bedroom condo, right? A 4-bedroom house. See? 4-bedroom, 2-bath. So you could get more money for a 4-bedroom than a 2-bedroom condo. So that's why your rental income is a lot higher at $367. Appreciation on a higher number is $156. So higher amount, 524 gross revenue. So we're looking at a $100,000 bigger property or price, different location, investments higher by, what was that, 60,000 to 75 by $15,000 more. Okay, but again, the average return is at 13.4% again. So I just feel like it doesn't matter how high or low you get. I just want to share that number. Around that 13-14%, your return compound on investment. And again, it's not talking about doing a rate term refinance. I'm not refinancing that 7.25 in 10 years. You think you're going to get lower than 7.25 and open more cash flow? So is that rental or that total gross revenue going to be higher than 525? Yes. Right? So it's going to be, even with the last scenario, same scenario, same situation, it's going to have more cash flow. Whether or not you need to do work on it, I don't know. Maybe there's more work. So it all balances out. But ultimately, your profit's $188,000 without touching a thing. And hopefully you have a renter every single time. With 2% rental increase. Normal rental market, 4 to 6%. I'm just saying just 2%. You're not like trying to kill your renters. So is it more likely to get to that profit? I think so. You have a question?
Yeah. Does it show the mortgage on there? I can't see.
No. It doesn't show the mortgage payment, no.
What's the mortgage on something like that?
It was 375.
No, so I have it in the expenses.
Oh, okay.
So the expenses is $335,000 in 10 years, and that's the interest that you're paying on the mortgage.
Okay, so you're just
Thank you.
showing
Yeah, I'm saying for 10 years you're paying $335,000 towards mortgage, insurance, taxes, a percentage in repairs, and also all the fees and closing costs for buying and selling. All of it in one. Again, this is one page of 3 that I can deliver to you if you give me any address you want to say, hey, Eli, check this address out for me. Can I do this? What does this return look like? And I can also manipulate the loan size. Maybe you're like, hey, I don't want to do 20% down. I want to do 30. Sweet. All right, what does that look like? I can show both. Here's 20%, here's 30%. What's better for you? Don't matter to me.
Can you go lower than 20?
Yes, you can go lower than 20% on an investment property as long as it's a single family home. It's a qualified Fannie Freddie mortgage, and 15% down. It's going to be 15% down. That's the minimum on an investment property. All right, and that's also qualifying with future income, future rental income.
So do you take into consideration that some of the cities are having programs where they help you with a down payment to get into homes?
The question is, do we have cities that help you with down payment? When it comes to investment properties, those don't exist. It's only for primaries. Yeah. All right, good question. Great question.
Mostly first-time buyers too.
No, they don't always have to be first-time home buyers. No.
There's more for first time.
Yeah, there's more options and opportunities there. And also talk about this, a little nugget, first-time home buyers. If you haven't owned a home in 3 years, you're now considered a first-time home buyer. He likes that one. Have you heard that before? No? Okay.
I'm learning lots of things today.
Oh, good. That's the point. We'll have some fun. Don't worry, we'll have some fun. We already have candy out there. Okay. Here's one in Chandler, right around our backyard. It's kind of nice in Mesa and Glendale, right? You go to Chandler, like that's a shorter drive. This one is a townhouse. This is not a condo. Townhouses are actually a little more flexible in financing. Condos, there's actually some rules out there. I'll talk that in a minute. Let's talk through this scenario first, and I'll talk difference of condo and townhome because there are some nuances you want to be aware of if you're going to invest in those property types. Chandler, townhouse. So I'm trying to think of the price point on this guy. It was an $89,000 investment, so it's kind of high. What was this at?
$150,000. I'm just looking at the investment.
Yeah.
You're probably around.
Well, it had renovation costs too. Who's searching this address for me? God, it is higher though. So with the higher price point, basically the biggest thing on the compound return is coming less because more mortgage cost, right? More mortgage loan.
Still at 360.
360? Maybe it was the HOA.
Oh, yeah.
I think it was because it was that price point plus HOA. That's probably what it is. So the return's now under 13%. We're at 12.3% annualized. But the reason for that, and you could actually, so I had higher costs with the loan amount, and I believe it was like HOA fees and things like that. It was kind of crazy with this property. So even 2 years, you're not even breaking even at all. You're going to break even after 4 years, right? 22, 16 is 38, or 28, here's 12. Yeah. After the 4th year, you're finally breaking even, and then boom, rock and roll.
That's 3599.
Yeah, 360, yeah. Yeah. So, but again, $89,000 with down payment, any renovation costs estimated. Your return on investment is 220% on $89,000. I mean, on and on and on we go, right? So investment properties, even today, today's active listings and today's rates, can you make money? Yes. That's what I wanted to prove to you guys. All right. Any questions with this? Kind of weird, right? What is it?
Auctions.
Auctions. That just helps you with price, right? Less investment, less down. If a house is worth $450,000 and it's auctioned off for $375,000, God bless. You know.
What about tax-made homes that
Tax homes? Yeah, same thing. Yeah, I mean, if you know how to play that game and get into those types of listings,
Right.
and you have the cash to do it, come on in. I don't care. She's all looking at me over here. Yeah, I mean, you could always try to find who said what. I don't know if we said it in this class, actually. Maybe it was in a different class. But is it always great? No, I think Robinette said it. Robinette, you said you don't have to buy the best house in the best neighborhood.
Robbie said that.
Yeah. You could buy the cheapest house in that same neighborhood. Does that mean everything appreciates? Yeah. Even better, probably, if you did that. So it's a better investment. You're opening up that gap.
I'll show you that.
That appreciation number is probably going higher.
I call those fixer upper shows.
Yeah, you always do. So, but again, it's down payment plus renovation, right? That's cutting into there. But is that going to offset with the appreciation because of that renovation? It can. So even though you're putting more on the bottom line, you're adding more to the top line. So that's how we always hear when you do a renovation, you get your money back. Well, yeah, that's what it is. Overall numbers. So here I get to blow your mind. Loan products. What can we do and what's out there versus getting the lease and with the departing residents or anything like that, or with the upcoming. So if you're anyone self-employed in here? Self-employed? Yeah? What do you do? Oh, okay. Wow, you're like with the wolves over there, by the way. I'm surprised you're sitting next to them. No, that's okay. So self-employed borrowers, a lot of people go, I can't get approved for a loan. And why is that? They write everything off in their taxes. So they made $400,000 a year, but then they write everything off and they're like negative $2,000 at the end of it. That I'm qualifying. Like, I made more than negative $2,000. I get it. So there's something besides going your traditional qualified mortgages of Fannie and Freddie to qualify that income. Instead, I say, hey, give me the 12 months or 24 months that you made $400,000, and I'll qualify that number on top of your gross income. Can you do that for investment properties? Absolutely. We will. It's the best. This one's going to blow your mind. Debt service coverage ratio. Has anyone heard of that? Raise your hand. All my lenders in the room. DSCR loans is also what they're called if you're listening on TikTok and Instagram. They call DSCR loans. These are the fantastic loans. You know why? I don't want your employment on my application to do the loan. I don't want it. What I want to do is say, hey, put 20% down, have good credit. What does that mean? 680 or more. And the house produces this much rent that we just talked about, the 1007. And as long as your mortgage payment, interest, taxes, and HOAs are 1-for-1 to the rental that you're expecting to get, here's your loan. Done. I don't need to talk about what you work, how many houses you have. You can have 30 houses. No lease agreement. Don't need any of that. Here's the craziest part. Typical risk was saying 1-for-1. That's why I said that way and say it out loud. I actually could do it with a no ratio. It doesn't matter. Here's your loan. It's a rental property. Enjoy. Take care of yourself. I don't care. So do a little more due diligence, figuring out the rent, your payment, how much down you need to do, and we'll do that science and we could create that happen. But do you have to have a 1-to-1 ratio to even have that loan? No, you really don't. Is it the best cost and best rate? Yes. But do you have to? No. Who's heard of private capital? Private capital, basically, great credit. Give me a few months of statements, and this is a loan that you can have for the next 6 to 12 months, 18 months, 24 months. But then at that point, we got to do something with it. Okay, and it's usually at higher rates, but we got to do something with it, right? What does that mean? We could refinance out of it. Maybe you're like, hey, you know what? I don't want to. I'm getting this inheritance from mom and dad in 8 months from now. It's going to be like $500,000, but I'm going to put 20% down on this house and get this $350,000 loan and make money because this is the house I've been wanting to have, needing to have for my investment portfolio. But then when that inheritance comes, I'll just pay off that loan at that time. Okay, cool, done. As long as we have that proof, approved. Here's your loan in like 2 weeks, done. So private capital is very, very flexible, but is very, very costly. Okay. Believe it or not, guys, this came back. Have you heard of no income 30-year fixed loans? Oh my goodness, they're back. That's when 2008 happened. What are you guys doing? Bringing this product back. This is the difference. You got to have 20 to 25% down, which in 2008, was that the case? Do you have to pay your closing costs today? Yes. Did you have to do that in 2008? No. So you had a house for $300,000, but your loan was $350,000. You went upside down. This one is different. You got to have a lot of money, skin in the game with the 20, 25% down, decent credit, and you got to have 12 months reserves. Have to, or you're not approved. But again, I don't need to have your job or anything on there. What was that?
12 months cash.
12 months cash, liquid, and reserves. Yeah, 401ks work, IRAs work, so because you can liquidate them. Yep. So as long as you have 12 months of payments, right? What's that? Bitcoin. Yeah. Bitcoin does work because you can liquidify it. You can turn it into cash. Here's even crazier, and I want to leave this one out there because I know a lot of people are homeowners, have plenty of equity. As I mentioned, average person has over $250,000. By the way, I can use up to $270 in mine. There's something called a home equity investment. Who's heard of this? Besides Matt. You have heard of a home equity investment? A home equity loan? This is an investment, not a loan. So we already talked about no income's back. Oh my gosh, who's doing that? This one's even crazier. No income, no credit, no monthly payments. Right. But, right? There's always a but. Do you think people are just handing out money? Come on now. Come on.
You need to lien your other property.
You're going to lien the property for it. And at the time you decide to, the one we have in our product, there's different ones out there. The one under our roof goes along by your first lien note. So if your note's 15 years, then this lien, if you decided to use the home equity investment, is going to be 15 years, right? If it's 25 years, it's 25 years. But the way it works is they say, okay, I have $1 million house. I only owe $500,000, but I want to pull out $150,000. It's equity, so guess what? It's tax-free. It's yours. Do whatever the hell you want with it. No appraisal. It's AVM, which is electronic appraisal. No credit check. No income. Right? No monthly payments. Here's $150,000. Enjoy. And so you go ahead and use it however you want to. But then when you pay it back, when you sell your house, when the note is up, or you have to cash out refinance, you're going to be you're almost taking out that loan, the $150,000, plus you're financing almost all those payments. And that payment's you're almost like 20% interest rate. So in like 10 years, you're going to be paying back like $300,000 to take out that $150,000.
Can I chime in real quick?
Sure.
So I've got a client right now that took one of these out, and they were newly immigrant. They're citizens now. They needed the money for a project, and they took out $75,000 3 years ago, and they really needed the money, so it worked for them at the time.
And cash flowed it.
I was going in to cash them out, refi, found this lien, and I was like, well, you guys got to pay this off. It's costing you a lot of money. They're like, oh, we don't have to make any payments on it, so it doesn't cost us anything. So I explained it to them, and so we just got the payoff, and so in 3 years, that $75,000 they took out now has to be paid back at $110,000. So it's kind of a last resort. You need the money. it's there, or if you can pay it off quickly, by all means.
We all think about isolated there, but if they took a $75,000, made a project out of it, and made 500 grand, who cares about 65 grand?
Their company now makes roughly $2 million a year.
Does it matter that we're paying back 65 on 75,000 if you made that much money? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe, right? It comes back to a story that's actually popped in my head. I used to work at Radio Shack after college. I was 22 years old. It was kind of an impression up in Scottsdale. So one guy pulls in with a Cadillac, fully decked out, underglow, spinning rims. You remember 2005, right? And this other guy comes up with his Lamborghini. And they both walk into Radio Shack. I'm like, what are you guys doing, right? You have people for this? The guys, I heard them talking while they're walking in. He goes, man, it's a nice car. He's like, oh, thank you. He's like, I just can't think about spending 350 grand on a car. That's crazy. He goes, whoa, that's okay. He goes, how much money you made last year? He's like, I did pretty well, 250 grand a year. He has a Cadillac, which is like, at that time, 80,000, 90,000? 2005. Yeah, 75,000, 80,000. But he decked it out, so it's probably about 100 grand. So it's $250,000 he made. He has a $100,000 car. He goes, dude, I made $10 million last year. Who cares about 300 grand? Who cares about 300 grand? And I talked about that even with that scenario. It doesn't matter what it is. What matters is, do the numbers work for you? Does it make sense in the percentages? That's what matters. So, sounds expensive. Kind of does to me. I'm in this business. But if you're able to somehow take that money out and do something with it to make something happen, great. Do you still have equity even beyond that? Yes. We're not taking all of it out. I just said 500,000 and 150 at 650. You have $1 million house. 5 years from now, it's 1.2. Say it's 1.2. Did you make your money back? Yeah, you made your money back. You're fine. So just something to think about strategy-wise. So different products, though. Have you guys heard any of these products? Pretty wild, right? By the way, All Western Mortgage, I have all of them. So it's pretty awesome. Plug. It's pretty crazy. So what's really fun about us, though, is I could take your scenario. We could go down the rabbit hole, figure this out, but maybe something happens. It doesn't work out the way we want it to. Can I pivot, do something else, make sure it makes sense? Sure. That's the beautiful thing about working with us. So, because I have all these different products and different ways to do it.